Friendships. From friendships, we join compressed version of communities. I hope friendships. From friendships, we join compressed version of communities. I hope friendships.
And also tying that Now, the community, that has, say, 10,000 followers, now the community, that has, say, 10,000 followers, now the community, that has, say, 10,000 followers,
then if you're part of
now the community, that has, say, 10,000 followers,
then go to get part of
Thank you.
Let me pass it around so that
Okay, my name is Zolo Nyambu. My artist name is Zols. I'm a photographer and NFT artist.
My name is Andrew Gurume. I'm a intellectual property lawyer and art lawyer as well. And also I write about art and NFTs.
Introduction peke.
My name is Sharon. I'm a msiogope kutuuliza maswali.
Right, alright.
Yeah, we're very open to answering people's questions.
Nilikuwa nasema hivyo. Endelee.
Kuna swali? Nani ako na swali? Hawana maswali.
Going once, going twice. There you go.
I've really benefited a lot from you guys. Thank you. I confirm that indeed some of the members are really good and outgoing and friendly, because I got to know about this summit from one of your members who had me speaking in another summit about this music IP issues and technologies in Africa. So I'm also trying to build a community. I'm very happy with the lawyer. He can confirm that right now in Kenya, it doesn't matter how good your proposals are, you have to engage in public participation.
Right.
When you're going to parliament, you must demonstrate. I was with the Kenya NFT Summit where people say this is a big deal. So I'm encouraged that he got some $130 from. I'm trying to fundraise. I'm supposed to have this kind of forums in 47 counties. So there's a little bit of financial issues there. So how do I use whatever I'm doing, how do I bring it into the NFT Summit? I've built a website, I'm on social media platforms, but I know there's something more I need to do in order to build the community bigger. I launched the petition in February. So far, about 380 Kenyans have signed it. And from the 380 Kenyans who have signed, I've only gotten a donation of 1,000. So maybe if you guys could illuminate on how the Kenyan NFT Club has grown and how it's funding some of its operations.
I think most of our operations come from, just goodwill of the community and the artists. Because, for example, the example I was giving about artists who got onboarded recently, like the support didn't come from, a sponsor somewhere. It's just, it's us, it's you and me, May, TJ. Like it's when we put together and do a small part, someone else does a small part, makes this small contribution, shares your work, talks about your work somewhere, someone says 500 bucks. Like at the end of the day, like that's the importance of community. Everyone playing a small part, in the end of the day, it will make a big difference just by playing the small part. I'll make it quick. Just because 5 of your friends know about your project doesn't mean 5 of my friends know about it. You have to be present. I've learned about you today. I mean, the best way to do it is, like I say, be active on spaces. The Mbogi group has a space on Wednesday. Just avail yourself, just be present. I mean, you can be the best creator, best photographer out there, but you never make sales if you're not present. Just come to the space, speak,
share about your project. Just be there, be present. It's the most cliche, but it makes sense if you're there. You get to see the results, Malik. This community hasn't been built in a day. It probably started with 2 people, an idea. Next Wednesday, 3 people. Next Wednesday, come to my space, 10 people. So it's the same way you grow a community. It doesn't happen instant. It will take time. Again, delayed gratification. So show up, show up, show up. That's the only way you grow up to getting. You see, the interesting thing is that even the people who got donations, those will tell you he's been there day in, day out. For the person to see him, he showed up. But for people to see you and want to donate to your project, because why am I donating? It might be a good cause. You can be a scam. You can be just, oh, guys can get donations. I will get this money, then we. So show up, be genuine, the rest will happen.
Yes, and just before you go, it's just to add to what he said, showing up, but also showing that you're here for the long haul. People want to see that you're here to stay. You're not just going to make a big cash grab and move on to something else or do your own thing. And that's with showing up and also making like your needs very clear, like what is needed, so that someone knows how to help. Just try and be as clear as possible. And like you were clear today. I'm sure all of us now know your story and know there's a need to raise funds to go to the 47 counties, which is important. So now we'll find ways. And if I get something and I remember, my brother here needs this, and we can connect with you in that way. Or the community, the Mbogi itself can look for people to support. And we now know that you're one of them. So those are things that are possible now, but also we also need to do the work individually, which is what you're doing today. So thank you for showing up. And you have a question?
No, and just
Yeah.
to answer his question. So
Right.
you're looking for funding to do something for artists in Kenya. So that's already utility. So
Right.
now all you need to do is put some art on it, put it out in the market, and then instead of you making it a donation, you can buy the art and
yeah.
it has value,
Right.
and it will carry forward. So in the future, when you manage to do what you're doing, the people who contributed will be able to benefit.
Yeah, and this is where collaborations come in. So if you don't have the art, but you know some musicians who can make art, and you have photographers here who could partner with you. Aki, be an attack, oh my God. So this is the last one. So like if you find, like today you connect with a photographer, a musician, make art out of that, and then part of the proceeds can go to your project. The others can support the artists too. They want so that's one way of that you could leverage this community today to reach that goal. Yeah. Anyway, ni hayo tu kwa sasa. Kuna one more.
One thing I wanted to add is that you don't know who will collect your art next.
Right.
Like your collector is not someone in US or whatever. It's someone probably seated next to you.
Right.
So like keep showing up, support others. Fun fact, I'm very proud to be seated here because May and TJ are both collectors of my work. And when May collected my work, I never met her before. So you don't know who your collector will be. So just put in the work, keep showing up, and be patient. Yeah, that's the hard to kwa sasa. Asanteni.
Hi.
Round of applause.
And I believe the stage of just starting, so part of community is just by starting with who you're seated with. Do you know their handle? Are you following them? I mean, that's how we're building genuine things. So I think this is a good place to just ask them, hi, are you on Twitter? Are you on Instagram? Can I start following and building? Yeah, so without wasting much time, I'll just call on the next. Okay, let me let you guys talk. You're actually doing it. So in the next 5 minutes, we'll have the next panel. So, five. Yeah. Okay, so this second session is about Web3 ecosystems. I know in the first session we had a lot of Web3 lingo, like Web3 is really so many things that they are talking about without explaining what Web3. So I think this team will be explaining more about what Web3 is and how it's all connected to NFTs. So yeah, maybe they can start introducing themselves as I get the last moderation started.
Yeah, just before the introduction, guys, I believe everyone at this point is hungry, or probably hungry, right? I feel fantastic. I feel you guys. So I want you guys, we just do a quick exercise, 2 minutes. Let's all stand up so that we refresh before our lunch is ready. Fantastic. Everyone is up? Yeah. Everyone is up? Yeah, the kid, I can see. Wow, amazing. So I want you guys to do exactly what I say. Alright? So when I say walk, you walk. When I say you stop. Walk. Walk. Stop. Stop. Walk. Walk. Stop. And you guys are amazing. Fantastic. So now I want us to change that. When I say walk, you stop. And I say stop, you walk. Alright? So walk. Fantastic. So when I say clap, you clap twice. I say name, Kimani. That's my name. So you shout out your name loud. So clap. Name. Name. Walk. Stop. Stop. Walk. Clap. Fantastic. You guys are amazing. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in. Just another 40 minutes and we are done. Lunch is ready. And yes, I have an amazing panelist right here with me. Today we're going to talk about Web3. We're going to talk about, I know most of you guys are NFT enthusiasts, artists, collectors, and we're going to talk about the whole spectrum of Web3 together. So you can all sit down as the panelists introduce themselves.
Shout out to you, man. It's gonna be
fantastic. So I'll start with myself. I am Kimani Alex. Most of you know me as Kimani Capital. I create content to help noobs understand the crypto space and exactly where we are headed to as with the Web3 ecosystem and all. Apart from that, I'm a crypto day trader and research analyst at CryptSense Digital Group, apparently which is the first crypto hedge fund in Africa. So if there are any traders in the room who mint stablecoins daily on the internet, feel free to reach out, let's connect, let's talk more. And in front of me I have an amazing panel because today we have diversity. We have builders, we have gamers, we have marketers, we have artists. So we have a lot of experience right in front of you and let them introduce themselves.
Hello. Can you guys hear me at the back?
Yes.
Firstly, I want to give this guy a shout out. He's going to be the moderator. I'm going to introduce myself. I have two personas, if I may put it that way, in Web3. One is Drug Music NFT, where I make psychedelic beats. And that opportunity of how I marketed myself, presented myself, led to a recruitment into Safrutix, which is a gaming company. Gaming is the next frontier of Web3. It's the fastest growing industry. And that's what I'll be trying to contribute to. And I'm going to wear my Mr. Console hat. That's where I am. Just briefly. It's all good? Yeah. All right.
Hey everyone. Hi. So, most of you know me, but online through a PFP maybe. But so I have two personas as well, or I might say I'm a multifaceted artist. So most of you, especially Kimani, know me from the metaverse. I build a lot of fun stuff in the metaverse. I helped build the current exhibition on CryptoVoxels. If you go out there on the corner, you'll see a screen that is showing our exhibition. It's on CryptoVoxels, and actually this summit is live on the metaverse. Everyone can experience our summit straight from the metaverse from wherever they are, and they'll be able to see our art, which is still in the exhibition. So make sure you share the link to the exhibition with your friends. So I'm also a co-founder of Bengiko. Most of you know Bengiko, of course. If you're on Twitter, you must have come across Bengiko. We are building for free, and that's why we are very excited to come to such summits, whereby we meet fellow builders and artists who are trying to move the Web3 adoption forward. And actually, most people maybe don't know it, but I think NFTs have contributed more to crypto adoption than anything else, because art is appreciated everywhere by anyone in the world. It doesn't matter if it's technical or just some board apes, whichever, but it has helped everyone create a MetaMask wallet to either mint or collect an art with their friends. So I'm happy to be here and share my experience and how I think the current Web3 and blockchain technologies can help us as youths and as people who want to take advantage of the digital economy.
Hi, can you hear me? Great. I'm Dada, and similarly to everyone on this panel, I think I also have multiple personalities. That is not even my real name, but you get the gist. Web3 can really be anything you want to be. Like, there's a lot of possibilities, and it being kind of like it's not a new space, but it's more like a space that's being adopted more currently. There's a lot to build, and that means you can build whatever you really want. So I've been an NFT artist. I started seeing about NFTs around like 2020, end of the year, but I minted my first NFT around January 2021. It wasn't even on the Ethereum blockchain. It was on Near, and never sold, but it was like a good learning process because it was also more like becoming a blockchain when I was starting out. Like, you get to see how the community is built in the back office, how you earn tokens, how you can build communities, and how you can sustain the communities, because it's one thing to build, but like to keep the people there, like it's something different. So yeah, I work a lot with the communities and specifically DAOs, which in Web3 we call them decentralized autonomous organizations. And I get to learn more about these things as the panel goes on. Currently I'm part of Afrofuture DAO and Cyberbot DAO. One is a community-owned launchpad based on the metaverse for, what can I say, it's capitalizing on our historical assets and the talent that's coming from the African community in a way that we're not diluted. And I feel like Africa, we missed out on a lot because of our lack of documentation. It's just a lack of documenting our history and the things that we're doing, and that really cost us a lot, and I think NFTs can really change that for us. And yeah, it starts with us, it starts with art. And that's just a little bit about me. I guess as we speak, you'll get to know more about me. Thank you. Happy to be here.
Amazing. That was not true, but amazing. Amazing. So now I want you guys to, I want to give you 1 minute each to quickly, just briefly tell your story. Apart from that, at least she's given us a really good background how she got into NFTs. But I think the audience would really love to know your journey in the crypto space to where you were in 2 minutes, market as well, and then I'll finish up with mine.
All right, how I got into NFTs. I think it's the case for most of us, and shout out to Trevor who was sitting on this seat because he gave very valuable advice. When you join the space, because most of the headlines talk about 60 million sales, 100K in 2 days, that's what gravitated me. I have a younger brother, he knows I'm a producer, and he kept nagging. Yo, you need to get into NFT. And you know, it's my little bro, so I'm like, go play with your toys. But he's like 20, but that's how I still treat him, sadly. But I came across those headlines, and I thought, why not? Because in Web 2, you're not really making sales off your art as much. And being entrepreneurial, being open-minded, I delved into NFTs through drug music, joined the space late December, around Christmas. It was my Christmas gift to myself, I may say it that way. And as I connected, as I networked, I got an opportunity to join Safutix, which I left last week. And that's a whole different story. And that is geared towards NFT games, and that's my story in brief.
Amazing.
Okay, so myself, I've been hearing about NFTs for a while because I got into crypto in like the last few months of 2020 when Bitcoin was I don't know what my friends were mining Bitcoin, so I was like, these guys are making money from computers that they're not doing anything.
Who are your friends, bro?
Yeah, I had two friends who are mining Bitcoin. They had the ASICs. So I was helping them to get people to buy the Bitcoin. But I didn't know about Bitcoin myself. Although I bought some Bitcoin in 2017, like 1,500, then I forgot about it. Then I recovered it in 2020. It was like 10K. So I was like, bro, I'm supposed to dive into this shit. Then when I learned about crypto, my friend Franje, who is my co-founder at Kiko, was always telling me about NFTs because I'm a photographer. You could see that I was just posting for fun on IG. I wasn't making money on photography. I don't do photography for business. I just take photos for memories and for fun, show everyone around how my experience through the day was. So it was like you could sell your art as NFTs. Then I started digging, and that's how I first came about the metaverse, because I'm more of a gamer. I play PUBG like the whole day. So yeah, yesterday I played like 3 hours. So that's what I do. Like most nerds, they don't go outside. They just play games instead of going for a walk or something like that. So I prefer to take a walk in the metaverse. When I learned about Decentraland, during that time, we didn't have many people from Africa. Actually, I was the only one who was appearing in the Discord, in the metaverse chats. So I wanted to bring more people in. That's when I came to learn about the Kenyan NFT Club. I didn't know it existed. So I started introducing people from the Mbogi NFT to the metaverse. I created the Kenyan NFT gallery, in Decentraland. It's still there. I have plans for it, but it's limited. So I started NFTs with the metaverse. I started making virtual fashion. If you're a fashion designer, you know that you can make virtual fashion to sell to people in the metaverse. The same way people would love to appear a certain way in the physical world. The same way people wear fancy clothes online. Like, you agree with me, if you're a gamer, people are very attached to their gaming skins, their gaming characters, like, because the way the world is moving at the moment. If you look at your phone, for example, it's like an extension of yourself, because you have your virtual profile, and people worry a lot about their profiles. If you go and hack someone and post something on their Facebook page, they will worry a lot, and some people are even depressed. Yet, it's not their real life, but somehow, it's still their life, because we spend more time online. You get your jobs online. Most of us, we work online. Like, even myself, I've never gone to any physical job. I don't know how the workplace is. I hear people say it's toxic. I don't want to go there, so I prefer to work in the metaverse. So that's how I got into NFTs, through virtual fashion. Then, of course, I started making my photography NFTs. Then people are not buying my NFTs, so I was like, why are people not buying my art? So I kind of drifted from photography NFTs, and right now I work for metaverse brands. I'm a metaverse architect, if you may say, and there's a lot that's happening in the metaverse, and we'll discuss that with time. But I think people should be aware that the next social media will be in 3D and will be immersive. The same way, right now, in the African Museum of the Metaverse, people can view our art on the walls, and they can still experience this summit from wherever they are. You see, you can't do something like that on YouTube or on Twitter. If you go to a Twitter live and Octo is performing, for example, you'll only be able to see Octo and nothing more. You can't interact with the other viewers or anything like that. But if you go to the metaverse and you have Octo performing, you can interact with the other viewers, the other visitors who are in the scene. You can talk, you can whisper to someone who is beside you, and at the same time you can view art the same way we are viewing art in this place, because the metaverse is the intersection of physical and digital. So as we proceed and we have more technologies coming up, people will start to adopt these kinds of technologies, and NFTs are the heart of the metaverse, because the metaverse is about digital ownership. The way you get, let's say, like right now we have a giveaway for, there's a community called Dashiki NFTs. They create virtual fashion. They have dashikis in the metaverse. So we are going to give some of the visitors and people who will attend our metaverse summit, so that they can also be assimilated into our community and the Dashiki NFT community. So the same way you have your clothes in your closet, you have a virtual closet in the metaverse, and you can have, let's say, on IG, instead of posting your pics on IG, we'll have these platforms whereby you post your art, but it's an NFT. You own it, and someone else can come and buy the NFT, and the ownership will be transferred completely from your account to the account, and you can view all the history about the photo or the artwork. So that's the future of digital ownership, and as you all know, it takes time for people to understand, because first of all, we need to get things that people actually use. That's why Bitcoin is the most valued cryptocurrency, because people actually use it. People use Bitcoin for exports. People use Bitcoin for purchases and as a store of value. You see, most of these cryptocurrencies and blockchains that are coming up will go away in like 2 years or 3 years down the line. But Bitcoin will still be here because people use it. It's the same thing with the metaverse. If people don't use it, no one will come. You see, so that's why we have such virtual summits to prove that actually the metaverse, there are people who can use metaverse for different things. Because when we talk about the metaverse, people start thinking about the whole world wearing the VR headsets, people not looking ahead, or people just buried on their chairs living virtual lives. But that's not the case. People will assimilate the virtual life into their physical life. So that's how I got into NFTs, through the metaverse, and I've been in the space ever since. We formed the Kenyan NFT Club with Kimani here. He also lives in the metaverse.
Does he have shots in the metaverse?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, he comes with shots in the metaverse. You see him. So we want, in the Kenyan NFT Club, we want to introduce people to this gaming, crypto gaming, that allows you to own these gaming assets. And also for the metaverse, the future brands will be growing their brands virtually. Like you can see right now, Nike already use digital NFTs, digital sneakers for their branding. They were going for like millions of dollars, and they are just virtual sneakers. So you see, people will come to NFTs because of the millions, but they stick when they see the real utility, that you can market something that is hyper-realistic, not just marketing with posters in the 2D social media. So I think that's what we are trying to do in the Kenyan NFT Club. We would like more people to join. We are working on some crazy things. We want to shoot a music video, and actually the only reason we haven't shot is because we don't have an audience. But we have the song by Amkafi here, and we already have ways of, we have a scene, we have places where we shoot it. So I'd like volunteers who will come to a metaverse music video. Yeah. Yeah. So more on that. I think.
Wow. I think the only thing that nuts do best when they're not at home in their console is talk, right? I agree with that. Fantastic. Yeah, I want to give Matt a big shout out because he's the first guy I saw in Kenya doing the metaverse thing, and I was like, kumbe kuna Wakenya wengine. So I was like, okay. And yeah, not only just participating in the metaverse, but building on it, building those wearables. He gave me my first, free, shots, and, very nice guy in the metaverse. Even I have a gun in the metaverse. That's serious. So, yeah. And for me, I'll just make it brief so that we can get into the session and exactly what Web3 is. So, I heard of crypto in 2017 first. Nilikuwa Campo. Second year. I was doing journalism, and my roomie was a techie, so that's how I got to know crypto and forex and all these things. But then at that time, I felt like any typical Kenyan, like this is a scam. There was a lot of mining scams back then about crypto and Ethereum, and I figured I just passed. Then 2021 April. Bitcoin hit 63,000 all-time high, and I was like, wow. Back then it was 3,000. I was like, wow. So if I bought that time, this time I would have, that's a clean like 5-6x. And I had to pay attention. And one of my clients at this time was doing interior design as a profession. So I posted it casually on the status, and one of my clients called me I invest in crypto, I actually trade. So I was like, okay, so can we have coffee? You tell me about this. And I always love telling this story because I feel like most people went through this when they got into crypto first. So I met this guy, had coffee, and he showed me his Binance account. He had bought Doge back in Feb that year, last year, 2021. In Feb at around 0.06 cents, and this time it was at 0.68, and he had 10x, is 100K. It was 10,000 shy away of 1 million. And I was like, miezi mbili, I'm saying that 100K to 1 million. I need to know exactly what's happening here. So that then I opened up a Binance account, and I went home, withdrew all my savings, $500, bought Doge. I bought Doge at all-time high, 0.6. It has, by the way, to put things into perspective, your price to date, it has never gotten back to that price. So if I was holding Doge till now, I'll still be waiting, for Doge to come back to my buying points. So I bought Doge on April around 28th, and then on May 5th, the market crashed. So you can imagine waking up one day and your account is half, because it dumped like 45% in a single day. And that was my introduction to crypto. So I was like, hey, and you just hodl and weep. That's when I first had the word hodl. So I had to just wait and see my account, go down every single day. And I was like, okay, now I've already lost the money, so what do I do next? So I just decided not to go down the rabbit hole and understand what really crypto was, and that's what I did. And that time, that May, June, that's when our NFT buzz started. That's when I saw the Mbogi NFT Club being minted at 0.08 ETH. That was around $300 back then. But then to me, it didn't make any sense. I was like, these are just pictures. Once I saw mannequins in the bank, they didn't make any sense. So, but then over time, I started seeing this 0.08 ETH now going to 1 ETH, 2 ETH, 5 ETH, 10 ETH, and I'm like, now they're too expensive. I can't afford them. So I just saw this NFT craze come up. I missed it. But then I decided, you know what, even though I can't afford the big projects, let me just, see what other new projects are. And that's when I got now to Mbogi NFT and realized, kuna Wakenya wengine pia, they know this stuff and doing it. And it was amazing to see, and I'm glad here we are even hosting a summit and so on. So yeah, that's my brief story. And thank you. So let's get straight to what we want to talk about, and I want you guys to, try and demystify what Web3 is in your own terms, because I believe, as I may say previously, that everyone has their portion here. With the Web3 space is so huge, you cannot be a master of everything. You have to pick a lane, focus on it, and be a master at it. Because, like for me, I'm in trading. I trade crypto. That's part of the Web3 space. He is into gaming, she is into the marketing part and DAOs and all that, and he is focused on the metaverse and building actual fintechs in the space. So we have different perspectives here, and I hope everyone is going to demystify their own space and try to explain. Like for you, explain about gamify, what gamify is, how the Web3 space is affecting the gaming space, and why the audience should care, and how NFTs are integrated with that.
All right. Oh man, it's put me on the spot. I love the story, and I'm just super excited to be with such minds. The first panel was level 1. That was NFTs, but now we're taking you down into the rabbit hole. So feel free to take notes, and we'll expect a lot of questions, because this stuff is about to get a big conk. But we'll try and level it out easily. Now, I'm to talk about gaming. He spoke about playing games yesterday for 3 hours. Did you make any money? Exactly, right? What Web3 is, just to define that whole umbrella, is the next frontier of the internet, where there's no middleman. It's producer, creator, consumer market. whoever that is, and whatever that is. It's digital assets as a whole. Everything you see, this building, it's an asset. And when you think about the metaverse, how I best explain it is think about reality, but on the internet. And this, my guys, is the next frontier. I'm not even joking. And that's why billionaires are looking and paying attention to this very, very heavy. Why? Because, as I said in my definition of the metaverse, if it's the definition of reality but on the internet, that means the person who captures it is going to be able to stimulate all the GDPs of all these nations, selling buildings, clothes, amongst many, many, many more assets. Now, I tie into gaming, which I think is the engine that's going to drive this forward. For those who follow news, I'm sure my friend does, the traders around here, day in, day out, Microsoft, amongst all these other tech companies, are buying gaming companies. Truth, Discord is a gaming company, for those who do not know. It's not like WhatsApp. If you actually look at the logo, it's like a console. Activision was recently purchased by Microsoft. And you gotta ask yourself why. When it comes to gaming and the whole gaming infrastructure and the whole gaming code, that is how we're gonna be interacting in the metaverse. I'm gonna come to an object, it's in 3D, and be able to interact with the object. And the gaming engine has already been refined to do that. When we play FIFA, just to put it into perspective, you are reacting with the object, the ball, as the player. There are also non-players, like the defender, who maybe you've given a command to fall back. All that technology and that engine is what's going to really power the metaverse. And it's big, it's huge. That's why I decided that I'm going to pull up from this company, because I also want the bulk of it. You know, as an employee, you don't really get much. And as much as they give you tokens, share of the company, it's so huge and nobody knows what it is. Because these companies are still adopting. Sit down. I mean, gaming serves so many purposes, right? I'm playing to have fun, above everything. I'm playing for entertainment, but I'm trading my hours in. Those 3 hours, you could have earned something. You understand what I'm saying? Either be it a token or a crypto. And now that's where gamification comes into play. And the whole gaming engine is gonna drive this. And there's no industry in entertainment, gaming, back from the mainframe computer to where we are now, at the juncture of history where you're able to play and earn. I think that's just interesting, right? You don't have to leave the house. You can be yourself. And you know, every time you interact with an object, like I briefly described, you earn a token which you can later liquidate. Does that answer it? All right. I don't want to ramble too much.
Can you explain liquidation?
Okay, what liquidation means is, for those who don't understand, is, for example, I've interacted with this object and I've earned something, be it a token or a currency. Now I can turn that currency into liquid cash. That's liquidifying. All right? All right.
Wow, I don't know if I can top that. That was very enthusiastic, and I don't know, I love gaming as well. I've been a gamer for a long time, and I don't look like it, but I think even my interest in NFTs and crypto in general has always stemmed from me being a nerd. And I think one thing nerds have learned to live without is like community. And I think Web3 will change that immensely, whereby not only can you be how you want to be, like how you are in your real life, but you can be like whatever you want to be. And I basically also started playing in the metaverse a long time ago via a game called Second Life, IMVU, such interactive games, and that's like where I think a lot of my interest in such came about. When it comes to DAOs and specifically what they're called is decentralized autonomous organizations or corporations based in Web3 or basically like crypto-based organizations. A lot of these, what I like to call platforms, are member-owned, like membership-owned, whereby I come, you come, and we're all like here together and we decide this is our vision and we are working towards this vision together, and there's no, as he said, there's no hierarchical value whereby someone has to be on top or like has to like write certain specific rules that govern the DAO, and I think that's the best part about DAOs, and it really also eradicates this toxic work nature whereby like one person gets to impose specific rules on a specific community, even though like it's their community, and there's no value in that, you know. At the end of the day, if I work and you work and we're all working effectively and efficiently, like it impacts the community more. So that's mostly about DAOs, and DAOs can be anything, similarly to NFTs. You can build DAOs in fashion, gaming, as long as it's a community being brought together to kind of sustain a specific vision. Like the DAOs I'm part of are mostly like artist-based, whereby they're launch pads for NFT artists who want to like onboard into Web3, and not only do we create the opportunity to kind of allow them to learn about NFTs, but we teach them how to mint, we give them the money to mint, we organize exhibitions and curations and you know, a lot of marketing stuff that artists don't like to do, and a lot of professionalism that artists don't like to hear, but it's needed, and I feel like DAOs are a key part in Web3 growth. Basically, it's what you think of Microsoft, Google, and such, and I feel like soon enough it's going to be almost like of the same level, because literally they're just brands with a decentralized nature where we're all working. It's more like a circle than a triangle. When I've come to explain Web 2 and Web 3, Web 2 for me feels more like a triangle, whereby there's like someone on top, like a pyramid going down like that, and a circle is more of like communities within communities, communities within communities, and that's the beauty of it. That's how fast it grows, and I think it enables also like inclusion, because like we could make this community and then I feel like I'm not being represented well by this community, and it's like no offense, it's no bad blood, so I not really withdraw, but I start and create my own community, and at the end of the day these communities are set by guidelines that members approve, but not one person. And yeah, it really helps with transparency, which I think is a problem for most companies based in Web 2. Yeah, that's mostly about DAOs, and what I'm going to be focusing on is how NFTs specifically help DAOs into, I don't know, into growing faster and accelerating the whole Web3 process.
Amazing. Just before Mark gets the, yeah, actually that's the question I wanted to pose on you. Like, how does the audience, the NFT, you know, enthusiasts, the artists, the collectors, how do they get to participate in these DAOs of what you just said? Where you're helping artists, you know, learn the professional language, they learn the, you know, the professionalism that comes with, you know, selling art and all that. how are they going to benefit from it?
So a lot of DAOs are token-based communities, and tokens, sometimes it can be like a community owns a token which has a specific value, but even without value, there's still communities that are running. Similarly to mine, which is called AfroFuture DAO, our token still does not have high monetary value, but I feel like the value of a DAO comes from its community and just how active the community is in participating in the DAO's growth. So even in the creation of a DAO, it can be one person taking action to bring something to come to life, but in that process, you obviously inspire so many people that I'm like, I'm willing to put money into this. And that's how a lot of these DAOs are formed. It's like, you bring in your money, you bring in your ETH, I bring in my Bitcoin, and now we have like this whole fund which is easier if you think about it when it comes to exhibitions in Web3 space. Even in Web2 space, like to exhibit in a place like Art Dubai would take you just about $25,000, but if you're 30 artists in a DAO, kind of like removing 0.1 each, maybe around $500, $1,000, that's enough to get you all to Art Dubai. And that's kind of like the impact that DAOs are supposed to make at the end of the day. It's, for me, I mostly think of them as accelerator or kind of like incubator platforms whereby people are literally building brands and people are building, I don't know, things out of anything, because they're DAOs. These DAOs go a long way. There's erotica DAOs, there's DAOs that are majorly focused on film, photography, gaming, so it's endless and it's very limitless. And when it comes to like NFTs, where we had already spoken about it being like proof of authentication or like ownership and such, I think having a DAO that gives out NFTs as proof that I'm part of the DAO is just one use case of how NFTs can come into play with DAOs. So there's very many ways that you can use NFTs and still leverage yourself being in a DAO, including exhibitions and fundraising. Mostly fundraising are the common, use case for a lot of these DAOs, whereby we kind of come together and we can kind of like focus on an exhibition or a charity in specific, like the Ukraine DAO, which raised a lot of funds. So a lot of these DAOs are also brought about NFTs for social good. NFTs is a lot of community and less of like, especially when it comes to DAOs, less of like personal agendas, but more of like all of us working on different things but towards the same vision.
Yeah, let me just add to that. It's very much entwined to gaming, the same concept, that when you get into a DAO, it can give you an NFT which has this value, and by your choice you can liquidate it, all right? And we explained what liquidation is. In the same scope, we can work the other way around, where you buy an NFT, and that gives you access to this community, the DAO, right? And that is the point I raised when I was talking about the value of NFTs. You know, most of you just see, as he explained, a monkey selling for 100 ETH. But that monkey is gonna give you access to, you know, the community where Eminem is, Snoop Dogg, Timberland, and that ties into the software that they have of their chat, right? So it can go this way or that way. And one thing you have to think about when you think about NFTs is there's no right or wrong, all right? So yeah, just wanted to add to that.
Yeah, as you said, when it comes to DAOs, there can be a lot of exclusivity and sometimes gatekeeping, but what can I say? I feel like depending on the mission of the DAO and basically like the people who also build the DAO, because we can have the right intentions, but if the right people are not like building the whole project, like it can go to shit. So we see projects that have sold for thousands of Ethereum, and after a while, they just go MIA, everything is gone, your money, your investments. So yeah, it's a lot of exclusivity that you get in being a part of a DAO, especially if the DAO is kind of like tokenized or NFTized, or like there's kind of like a gate to enter, which is the case most of the time.
Great, great. This is a great analogy of the DAO, especially the circle and the triangle pattern. That really makes sense. Yeah. Just post on the mic to Matt, because he had already explained all the metaverses and pretty much everything. So I'll let you explain how the audience can participate in the metaverse right now, how ways to make money in the metaverse right now, and the future of the metaverse. Because I need now, once you finish talking, you're gonna have like another one question go around, then we break for lunch. So.
All right. So about the community, it's about the right team. I just remembered I bought an NFT last year, and it happened to be a rug. You don't know what a rug pull is. Basically, yeah, it's a normal day in the space. So we had this team. They were selling the NFTs. It was called, I think, something F. So because it has an F.
There's so many projects.
Yeah, there are so many. But this team was very good at marketing, because they were saying how they had a game training, and they actually had a small animation in the game. So that was the most active Discord I've ever been. So I was like, this is it. And I actually got the chance to be in the whitelist. So I knew my time at the end. Then something happened like a week after that. One of the team members actually had other ideas and other plans. So it was actually called the Evil M. Funny enough. But it was not the Evil M. The leader who scammed us was called Evil M. So yeah, he